is the future of the Milwaukee Bucks, and what impact their loss, their first round exit against the hands of the Indiana Pacers, will have on the legacy of some of their star players as well, i.e., Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and even their head coach in Doc Rivers. So as you guys know, the Indiana Pacers defeated the Milwaukee Bucks last night by a score of 120-98 at home in a Game 6 matchup, eliminating the Milwaukee Bucks, moving on to the second round where they will face the New York Knicks. The Milwaukee Bucks, we all know the injuries they dealt with. Damian Lillard missed 2 games this series. Giannis did not play at all this series. But credit Indiana with this series win. Indiana turned things around after their blowout loss in Game 1 to Milwaukee. They understood and they found out how different the intensity level and the physicality is when it comes to playoff basketball, and they shifted and they adjusted, and they showed over the course of the series that Indiana was by far the better team. And if you're Milwaukee, if you're the Milwaukee organization, you have to start questioning now the direction you're going to move in. You're going to go moving forward. This is 2 straight years that you were the higher seed and you were predicted to at least make it to the conference finals. Both times, both seasons ending in first round exits. You have a older point guard in Damian Lillard who doesn't play much defense, which did have an impact on the defensive efficiency from Milwaukee this season, which is something we talked about. So this is nothing new for us. So you have an older point guard in Damian Lillard who scores in bunches, but those scoring outputs doesn't always equate to wins for a team. You have a all-time great superstar in Giannis Antetokounmpo who could very well be leaving Milwaukee, even with the extension. But this is something I talked about before the season started, that just because you sign or you trade for Dame, if you don't win, Giannis is going to leave. And Giannis has made that very clear, even with some of the statements he made about playing in another market before the season started. Listen, at the end of the day, if you don't win for Milwaukee, you're going to lose Giannis, and you have to start to question the direction that these guys that Milwaukee's going. And yeah, they have Chris Middleton as well, but they have a lot of supplementary pieces, with Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez and Malik Beasley. But you really don't have much outside of that. I mean, listen, even last night, it's coming off the bench, the highest scorer was Pat Connaughton with 3 points. And you sign guys like I said, Malik Beasley, who you expect to be a key piece, role player, come off the bench. But in 23 minutes, he shot 1 of 5, over 2 from 3-point line, and had 2 points. So you have to start reconstructing your lineup if you're Milwaukee, because you will lose Giannis. If you don't lose him this offseason, you will for surely lose him next season. Because you have about 4 years of Dame playing all-star level basketball. But even with that, Dame's defensive output doesn't equate to what he does offensively. And that affects the entire team of Milwaukee. And we're seeing that now, because that puts more pressure on the low post players to play help side and recover. And when they recover, it makes it easier for opposing teams to just kick out to 3-point line, to open shooters. And so that's why Milwaukee, was one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. Not to mention the fact with the hiring of Doc Rivers, you guys know how I feel about Doc Rivers. He did a great job of leading Boston to that championship in 2008, but he has woefully underperformed as a coach over the course of his career. And do I think all that is on him? No, but there's been constant evidence of him leading teams to underwhelming results, underperforming. And that has to account for something. And the way things are constructed now, I just don't see Giannis staying in Milwaukee. I can see it. I could see Giannis leaving this season, acting during this off season, but this will impact the legacy of obviously Doc Rivers and less Giannis, but also Dame as well. Because listen, Dame wanted to be in a position to win, to play winning basketball, to lead a team potentially with talent to a deep playoff run, and he had that. He had it. He had it this year, and he had an opportunity to show the world that he can lead a team deep into a playoff run. But yes, he was injured. He had injuries as well. But when you're on the court, you have to perform, and he, like you said, he puts up the numbers, has the offensive output, but not much is added after that. And that the small guard, the small combo guard mold of scoring in bunches never has led to winning high winning output. You look at, like I said, look at Dame. You look at Allen Iverson. You look at Isaiah Thomas before Joe Dumars arrived in Detroit. You look at all these players, and that's been the norm. Undersized combo guards have to have the ability to play defense, but if they're just going to be scorers, that doesn't equate to winning in any generation. And Dame is no different. But you have to credit the Indiana Pacers for what they've done, and their ability to play consistent and efficient offense. Listen, throughout this series, they had 4 games in which they had 30-plus assists. The entire rest of the field in the NBA playoffs has 2 combined. So, obviously, Indiana is playing at a highly efficient rate offensively. I think this is more so just bad Milwaukee, and they're going to be in a state of influx, and it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward. And we'll discuss that more as the offseason comes along. But there are a lot of questions to be had in Milwaukee moving forward, especially after this first round exit. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What do you guys think Milwaukee should do moving forward with Doc Rivers, with Giannis, with Dame, with their supporting cast? What should be the game plan for Milwaukee moving forward? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Looking forward to hearing all about that. But, guys, in our next segment, we are going to be previewing the Game 6 matchup between the Clippers and the Mavericks. So be sure to stick around for that, guys. You're not going to miss it. We'll be right back.